Hi, it's Troy at the Full Setup here, back with another video for you today, and today we have the Arctic Freezer 33 eSports Edition CPU cooler. Now in today's video we're just going to do a quick unboxing of it. I'm going to show you how to install it on an Intel rig, and I should hopefully be coming back with a review on this sometime very soon. Now the Freezer 33 eSports Edition is the dual fan version of this, so you can also get a Freezer 33 as well, which is just a single fan. It's a single 120 CPU cooler. It's available in lots of other colours as well, I think like red, yellow, don't know what the other ones are, but I've seen it in red and yellow, and I think there's a few other colours. Bit of a change for Arctic as well. As much as I've always been a huge fan of Arctic cooling, always use that MX4 thermal paste, I would say their stuff looks a bit bland. This definitely looks a bit better. And you can pick it up, originally when it came out it was about 45 to 50 pounds, but you can pick it up for about 35 pounds now. I've seen this model available for 35 pounds, and there should be some affiliate links as well in the description, so if you are interested, have a look. So simple all white and black box, you know me, I like the white and black PC gear. Got a little bit of writing on the side here. Best airflow to noise ratio, silent three-phase motor, 200 to 1800 RPM PW fans, really impressive about that. Patented PWN technology, that's their PST that they have on their fans. Comes with a 10-year warranty. Got instructions on the back here. It's got fluid dynamic bearing, optimized fan design. A few specs of it there on the 1800X versus the Wraith, so that's a big temperature drop. So this is AM4 compatible as well. There's just another little look of it, sort of how it all goes together. So we've got 4 6mm direct touch heat pipes, 2 times 120 fans, or you can buy it with just a 120. We've got support for all the latest Intel. AMD only AM4 though, so I don't think this supports AM3. A few things that are included in the box as well. But the fans, yeah, really interested to hear the fans, because they never use decibels for their fans. They use zones or whatever, so I never really know what that means relative to anything else, because nothing else ever does it with sons. But you won't see a lot of fans go down to 200 RPM, or not have quite a big range like these have. What do they go up to? All the way up to 1800. That is something that I generally would say would be a notchier fan that has such a wide range. And these fans as well, if you wanted more for your system, you can pick them up for about £10 each if you shop around. So here is the cooler, lovely finished in black there. What have we got here? They look like braided fans. As you can see, the way these work, that you see there here with the PWM is that they just plug in together, so you can sort of daisy chain them. Would have liked to have seen like an extension cable as well to go on this. You might have a low daisy chain behind your case, you know, having an extension cable. That's one thing, you know, I always say I like about Deep Cool is the included extras. We'll have a little look at the cooler in a second. So you have what looks to be a QR code for the user manual, so I'll have to look at that before we do the install. What else do we have in here? Just empty this quick, because I know these bags always sound horrible on camera. So we have what appears to be, this is an Intel backplate, so I imagine this cooler is going to screw directly into your AMD backplate. Here we have some Intel for this, is for your X99, X299 as well, so if you weren't looking at overclocking, this would be fine. Maybe not for overclocking, but still, you know, you might have been all spent out at the beginning and couldn't afford a big cooler once you've got your Intel rig, so at least you can put this on for now. So those will just screw directly into those, and you've got your AM4 screws which will screw directly in, and then there's your Intel 115X. so yeah, it's not got as much support as many, you know, it's maybe not for some of the older systems, but it's definitely got tons of support. This cooler looks gorgeous, all in black and white. Now, one thing I used to complain about with the Arctic F Ranger fans, there wasn't really anything to complain about because they are so cheap and they perform really well for the price. And I always recommend them to people who need some more airflow on the budget. But I never liked that they weren't braided. But it would have been nice, because they were like this, these blue, yellow and black, you can see it there. It would have been nice if that was black all the way up. Just a little touch. Now this is sealed here, so that's something I haven't seen too much, and that's not what I've seen on any coolers that I have. So we've got all the fins in there. Lovely all black on the top. Should we pop a fan off? Oh, I tell you what. How do you get these off? I was panicking then. So as you can see, they go in the top here, but normally you see them, they clip on the side. And I was panicking a little bit because I thought, how am I going to get that in under there once I've installed it? So let's have a little... There you go, they just pop off like that. And we'll do the same again on the other side. We'll find out what they're like to install in a minute. They're always harder to install when they're in the case. Coolers like this with dual fans. So we have what look to be some real nice, big, chunky anti-vibration pads. I love the white. If you were looking at building an RGB build, I would probably stay away from the coloured versions of these fans and get the white ones, because the RGB is going to reflect all off them. Appears to be, yeah, it's a stick on it there. Like, I wouldn't look at that and say it's Arctic cooling. I've been a huge fan of Arctic cooling for years, and I would not say this is an Arctic cooling cooler if you put it in front of me outside of a box. Look at that huge fin array there. Got your 4 nice big black heat pipes. Copper base, no, doesn't appear to be nickel plated, but they're direct contact for copper. Heat pipes coming out of the top. Would have been nice to see a cover there. I think that's why this cooler's a bit cheaper now. Although it looks good and feels good, I think I wouldn't have paid £50 for it. So I think that's why you can get it a bit cheaper now. So we need to install this. I think that's what we need to do. So we're installing this on the ASRock B360M today. I'm going to get some tool memory out as well in a second to see how this goes in. I'm just going to put my G5400 in here. So this doesn't really need a external cooler. You'd be fine with a stock cooler on this, but if you were going to add a cooler to this more just for looks and aesthetics, honestly, some of the cheap Arctic coolers, definitely make sure you check those out. There is some included Arctic MX4 thermal paste. I would actually very recommend this paste if you're someone that just wants cheap but good paste, or is someone that takes their computer away a lot, maybe looking at making YouTube videos. I use Arctic MX4 for pretty much everything. Get a really big tub of it for about £4. Yeah, that should be about... Probably a little bit too much that I've dipped on there. I don't like these. I normally tend to just throw those away, but I know most of you, aren't going to be keeping tubes of paste around. So we've got probably a little bit too much paste on there, but that'll be fine. So you then want to screw the mounting brackets on, and I don't know if you can see there's like a little groove that they go into. Now, I don't know if this is the same for the AM4, but for these, you have them poking out that way. This is looking like a very easy cooler to install, actually. Now, I've already got the back plate in place. One thing I would have liked with the back plate would something that Corsair normally do actually with theirs, little sticky strips that you can put on them. You want to sort of get your cooler roughly where it is. Now, this would be the only bit that I'd say I'm not too keen on. So you can see, look, see that sliding around? Just line it up where you need it to be. I'd probably just get one, push it down with maybe just one screw in, and we're just going to give that a little tighten so it keeps it in place. I'd probably although I find this quite easy to install, I would probably recommend doing it out of your case. And one thing I always like to do is alternate corners. I would have personally preferred pins that stuck out of the board that you screw into the board, and then like little nuts that you screw on. Now the reason I always say to do alternate corners is so you're not putting too much pressure down. As you can see here, we're starting with 2 separate corners. And never over tighten. If you feel it needs to go a little bit tighter, do that when you put it in your case, because what you'll find is your motherboard will bend a little bit, and it's fine. I mean, I've got a couple of boards that are just permanently bent, but to reduce that, finger tightening all of these, and then all I'll do is just give that an extra tighten before I put the fans on. So there we go. That's pretty much it, really, installing the cooler. So we need to look at memory, really, don't we? Memory support. Corsair Vengeance LEDX. Stick some of that into the board. We're going to look at RAM clearance. So we put that in the first slot. One thing to remember is if you only had 2 sticks anyway, they'd be in the 2nd and 4th slot, but some of you might be upgrading. I know a lot of you are buying 8GB kits and then adding another 8GB later, so it's definitely something we need to look at. Ooh, not that one. Now this one has smaller rubber pads on it. Did you see that there? I put that up and it's a bit tight. That rear one has separate pads. These pads are a little bit thinner. And as you can see, it means, and that has been done so it can clear the memory. Bring this up for a closer look. It's very tight, but it definitely clears the memory. So overall, initial impressions, obviously I need to test it a bit more, which I will be coming back for my review. Probably going to do it with the Ryzen 2600. I think we'll do maybe 4 gigs and 4.2 gigahertz because I think it might struggle a little bit at 4.2. But I really like the look of it so far. This is really nice. I think especially for someone that's not, maybe wants to do a little bit of overclocking, but not like ridiculous overclocking, this cooler would be fine. I think maybe for someone that wants something that looks a little bit nicer than, say, the classic Hyper 212, this would be one for you as well. You've got the 2 fans, meaning you can sort of run it at slightly lower RPM as well. So overall, yeah, look. Don't know if you can see that there. That definitely looks the part, and I think that will look really nice in any system. Like I said, you've got the real nice black and 2-tone white. The white is going to reflect any RGB. So yeah, I'll be back with a review on that, hopefully as soon as possible. If you have any more comments, anything else you want to know about the cooler, let me know in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe, and if you really want to buy this, have a little look at the affiliate links as well.